Nobody has any idea today what it means for a robot to be conscious. There is no such thing. There are a lot of smart people, and I have a great deal of respect for them. But the truth is, machines are natural psychopaths.
Fear came back into the market.
And down 800, nearly 1,000 in a heartbeat.
I mean, it is classic capitulation.
There are some people who are proposing there was some kind of fat finger error.
Take the flash crash of 2010. In a matter of minutes, $1 trillion in value was lost in the stock market.
The Dow dropped nearly 1,000 points in a half hour.
So what went wrong? By that point in time, more than 60% of all the trades that took place on the stock exchange were actually being initiated by computers.
There was panic selling on the way down, and all of a sudden it just stopped on a dime.
All happening in real time, folks.
The short story of what happened in the flash crash is that algorithms responded to algorithms, and it compounded upon itself over and over and over again in a matter of minutes.
At one point, the market fell as if down a well.
There is no regulatory body that can adapt quickly enough to prevent potentially disastrous consequences of AI operating in our financial systems. They are so prime for manipulation.
Let's talk about the speed with which we are watching this market deteriorate.
That's the type of AI run amok that scares people.
When you give them a goal, they will relentlessly pursue that goal. How many computer programs are there like this? Nobody knows.
One of the fascinating aspects about AI in general is that no one really understands how it works. Even the people who create AI don't really fully understand. Because it has millions of elements, it becomes completely impossible for a human being to understand what's going on.
What we're on the brink of is a world of increasingly intense, sophisticated artificial intelligence.
Technology is evolving so much faster than our society has the ability to protect us as citizens.
The robots are coming and they will destroy our livelihoods.
You have a networked intelligence that watches us, knows everything about us, and begins to try to change us.
Twitter has become the world's #1 news site.
Technology is never good or bad. It's what we do with the technology.
Eventually, millions of people are going to be thrown out of jobs because their skills are going to be obsoleted.
Mass unemployment, greater inequalities, even social unrest.
Regardless of whether to be afraid or not afraid, the change is coming and nobody can stop it.
We've invested huge amounts of money, and so it stands to reason that the military, with their own desires, are going to start to use these technologies.
Autonomous weapons systems would lead to a global arms race to rival the nuclear era.
We know what the answer is. They'll eventually be killing us.
These technology leaps are going to yield incredible miracles and incredible horrors.
We created it. So I think as we move forward, this intelligence will contain parts of us. And I think the question is, will it contain the good parts or the bad parts?
The survivors called the war Judgment Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare. The war against the machines.
I think Hollywood has managed to inoculate the general public against this question. The idea of machines that will take over the world.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Hal?
we've cried wolf enough times, the public has stopped paying attention because it feels like science fiction. Even sitting here talking about it right now, it feels a little bit silly, a little bit like, oh, this is an artifact of some cheeseball movie.
The Whopper spends all its time thinking about World War III.
But it's not.
You said that artificial intelligence is the fundamental existential risk facing civilization. Did I get that close enough?
In my opinion, it is the biggest risk that we face as a civilization is artificial intelligence.
And so, to a group of leaders, what would you advise that we should, how should we be addressing something that's such a large landscape and yet obviously so important?
I think that one of the roles of government is to ensure the public good, and to that dangers to the public are addressed. So that hence the regulatory thing. I think the first order of business would be to try to learn as much as possible. To understand the nature of the issues, to look closely at the progress that is being made, and the remarkable achievements of artificial intelligence. Last year, Go, which is quite a difficult game to beat, that people thought would never be beaten with by a computer, that a computer would either never beat the best human player or that it was 20 years away. And last year, AlphaGo, which was done by DeepMind, which is a kind of a Google subsidiary, absolutely crushed the world's best player. And now it can play the top 50 simultaneously and crush them all. So, just like that pace of progress is remarkable. And you can see more and more coming out. I think the robotics, you can see robots that can learn to walk from nothing, within hours, like way faster than any biological being. But the thing that's most dangerous is, and it's the hardest to kind of wrap, kind of get your arms around because it's not a physical thing, is kind of a deep intelligence in the network.
Rita, come on in here for a second. Rita spends all her time down here and tells us that the spirit of a woman has attached itself to her, but it's how they communicate that absolutely blows me away.
You're not gonna believe me.
Really?
She was talking to me through my cell phone.
What?
I was sitting here and she was mad at me that I couldn't see her. So she texted me, "You're looking right at me, why can't you see me?" I answered.
Are you kidding me right now?
Mm-mm.
This is serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I said, I'm sorry, I can feel you, but I really can't see you.
Did you try calling the number?
Yeah.
What happened?
That's the sound.
Macy was saying that the whole thing with the phone and a voice calling her. And it would give you static.
Hi, it's me.
Now we have two bizarre instances of communication through telephones here. A cell phone and a landline, suggesting that spirits can tap into any kind of electromagnetic waves, which is exactly what they're doing with our devices like the Ovilus, the Paranormal Pup 2, and the Spirit Box. This is an amazing connection scientifically to how our dimensions are interacting.
Introducing Droid DNA by HTC. It's not an upgrade to your phone, it's an upgrade to yourself.
We will soon be facing the greatest threat mankind has ever known, as we are feeding and nurturing the monster of our own destruction. Welcome to your future.
Showmanship and theatrics. When a magician waves his hand and says, "This is where the magic is happening," the real trick is happening somewhere else. Misdirection, a basic concept of magic.
Call it magic. Call it truth. Call it magic. When I'm with you, and I just got broken into two. Still I call it magic when I'm next to you. And I don't, and I don't, and I don't, and I don't. No, I don't, it's true. I don't, no, I don't, no, I don't, no, I don't want anybody else but you. I don't, no, I don't, no, I don't, no, I don't. No, I don't, it's true. I don't, no, I don't, no, I don't, no, I don't want anybody else but you.
Hello, this is Nicholson1968720p. I hope you're enjoying my latest project, Artificial Intelligence, the Obsolete Man. Probably wondering right now, what does a Celine Dion commercial pushing gender-neutral baby and kids clothes have to do with artificial intelligence? Well, it has to do everything with it. It is a stepping stone to get towards technology rolling out on a different level, not just machinery, computers, all of that. It is merging man and machine. But before you get to that, things have to be put in place. To get from A to D, you have to roll out B and C. You cannot immediately go there. The ultimate goal is transhumanism, the merging of man and machine. But before I go there with the Celine Dion commercial and really break it down for you guys, I'm going to read an article to you. It just came out this year. It's from the European Union that rolled this out. Gender-neutral language in the European Parliament. And the headline is, EU moves to outlaw phrases such as man-made, manpower, and mankind in favor of gender-neutral terms under the new politically correct guidelines for translators. Okay, I'll read part of the article to you. The European Union has moved to suppress everyday phrases such as manpower, mankind, and replace them with gender-neutral terms. Staff in Strasbourg have been told to reduce references to women or men in a new rule book called Gender Neutral Language in the European Parliament. Now, I'm going to scan down here. I'm not going to bore you with all of this, but it's very important what you're seeing. Here we go, right here. It also recommends the word stewardess by avoiding preference of flight attendant. Here's the kicker. Humanity should replace mankind, and man-made should be substituted for synthetic or artificial. I hope you're understanding that on a deeper level, what's being told to us and how they're putting this out, programming. The man-made replace artificial. Sounds, just like a term or that somebody's writing, but it's deeper than that. Is understanding what humanity is about and who we are as mankind. And it's not about this divide and conquer thing that they're trying to push, and man against woman, black against white, all of that stuff. Now, this is to prepare you for transhumanism. You will be referred to as an it, artificial it, no he, no she, we're just its. And you can put whatever you want into your body. Your role, you can play any role that you want. You can become a woman in a man's body. You can become a man in a woman's body. All of that stuff, transgender, is part of the B and C step, or the next step to get to transhuman. You have transgender, then transhuman. That is what is being put forth. And also, the Celine Dion commercial is gender neutral, doing away with the old world and ready for the new world order. I hope you understand that, and I'm going to break it down for you. Most of you are probably familiar with the Celine Dion clothing line that she rolled out in 2018, New. But for you who are new and have not seen anything on it, this is a clothing line that was rolled out by Celine Dion. But the logo tells you a lot. It is a sheep with one eye. And the followers of Christ are sheep. That is mocking the followers. Some may disagree with that. But the sheep with the one eye, what is the symbolism behind it? Is changing the children of God into something else. It is no accident. Look at this one picture. 33. 3 on one shirt, 3 on the other. Direct reference to when Christ was crucified at age 33. Also, Freemasons symbolism is black and white, dark and light, mixing together good and evil. The one eye symbolism on the pants. See, they do not believe in Christ is the light. They believe Lucifer is the light. And what I've shared many times, and I've shared this for new people who have not seen my videos, is the secret societies. When I say secret societies, I mean Skull and Bones, Rosicrucians, Illuminati, New World Order, name it whatever you want. It's all the same. As they believe the story, this is what they are taught and led to believe, is in the story of Adam and Eve in the garden, that it wasn't until the old serpent Lucifer showed up on the scene, shared knowledge with man, that freed him from the old creator that had him in bondage. And that one day, through man's intellect and knowledge, they could become their own gods. That's what they believe. That's not what I believe. That's what they believe. And this is why they put things in motion, propaganda in your face, and also to communicate with other people around the world that are in these secret societies that are communicating this agenda right here. This is just one piece of it, just a very small piece of it. Notice that the new, that is, the N and the U look the same. It's just a matter of you invert them up or invert them down. So as above, so below. As above, so below. As above, so below. Also referring to the New World Order. Old World, New World. That's part of her clothing line and her website as well. But something deeper into this is when we get into the video, I got to tell you some things, is the prophecy that is moving forth, whether you believe in the prophecy of the Holy Bible or the Christian Bible. I'm just telling you what they believe is they believe in a resurrected Roman Empire in the end times. And Celine Dion drives up in a Cadillac, and notice the Cadillac emblem and logo has the Roman wreath around the logo. It's no accident that she drives up in a Cadillac. Also, the founder of Cadillac, Antonio de la Motte Cadillac, is French. He came from France. He is a Frenchman. Celine Dion is a French Canadian. A couple of first albums, it's in French. There's a reason things are picked and put in place in this simple little commercial. Is also notice when she drives up, her hair is up, and the clothing she is wearing is light or white. So when she walks into the hospital, her hair is down and she is dark clothing. As above, hair up, hair down, so below. It is a mixing of as above, so below, magic. The other things that are on the clothing line, it's skull and bones. You have skulls all over these. I mean, just common sense. Why would you want to put skulls all over your child's clothing. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. But Skull and Bones is a direct reference to another secret society, which is called Skull and Bones. Secret number 322, which George Bush is a member of, and John Kerry and many other high-ranking officials. The 322, what does that mean? And I'll go deeper into that, but just look up Genesis 3:22, and it pretty much tells you what the agenda is. You know, Genesis 3:22 reads as this, and I'm reading the King James Version. And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil, and now lest he put forth his hand and take also the tree of life and eat and live forever. Basically, what it is saying is man must not be allowed to live forever with this knowledge. It's not supposed to be this way. And that is what they are attempting to do, is what I've been talking about for years and years, is living forever in a ungodly way. So on the screen, you're looking at The Secret of 322, Skull and Bones. I put this up in 2007 on my website. So it's been there that long. I have a page dedicated to the Mark of the Beast and The Secret of 322. And on the left, you see the double duplex helix DNA. Every man and woman born the correct way has double helix DNA. That includes 44 base pairs, or 44 autosomes, what you call them. The 45th and 46 are an X and a Y, which determine the sex of a human being. So that the makeup of a human being now is 46 chromosomes total, but base pairs is what we're dealing with. On the right is what they're trying to do, the elite are trying to do, is develop and add another 22 strands of nanotechnology to the double helix to form a triple helix to be controlled right through the middle of that double helix DNA. They want to add that. So also, to get to 666, you have to calculate it and count it. Every scripture revolving around the mark of the beast has to be calculated, has to be counted, and it says, let the reader understand. So it's not going to be just a 666 stamp on a t-shirt somewhere or on an RFID chip. It's way deeper than that. Of what I'm talking and what I'm showing you is you have to calculate. So 322. And I've told you how the elites do math. They look at things differently. They're taught things differently with numbers, symbols, all of that. 322. 3 times 22 is 66. 6 times 6, 36. 3 sixes, 36. 3 6. 666. That's it. You have to calculate it. You have to count it. And this is the abomination that's put in the temple. Once you figure out where the temple is, it's not a building over in Israel. God does not dwell in a physical building. That is scriptural, Christians, or anybody. If you understand that about the Creator, we are the temple. And once you understand what the enemy is up to and they're after, then it all comes together of why the chemtrails in the sky, why genetically modified food. Everything that they're doing is killing us slowly, making us obsolete, an obsolete man. That's the whole purpose behind this documentary that I'm putting together and have been doing since 2007. And let me read this scripture to you and listen to the scripture now, knowing some of the things I've shared with you about the technology. So let me read this, Matthew 24:16. So when you see standing in the holy place, where's the holy place? That's the key. Where's the holy place? Is it a building? Is it somewhere? No. We are the holy place. We are the temple. So when you see standing in the holy place, the abomination of desolation. Desolation means it cannot dwell there anymore. It can't go there. Described by the prophet Daniel. Notice it says, let the reader understand. So this means it's not going to be that easy. It's let the reader understand what the prophet Daniel said about this right here. So let's go to Daniel 2:4-3. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. Notice that. Something is mixing with men. So whatever's mixing is not man-made. Okay? So iron, I've said this before, followers have followed me for years. Iron is technology. Clay is from God. Clay, flesh. Iron and clay. There's a kingdom coming that will not cleave together. Alright? That's the key of what's coming. You need to find out and know what is the illusion and what is real. Is the iron and clay kingdom is man merging with machine, because the machine and the technology is not from God. It's from the fallen. It's from nothing godly. It is the wrong information, good and evil being mixed together. See, some of these illusions, it's hard for people to believe them because they just can't wrap their heads around that conspiracy theories are not theories anymore. I'm going to share something with you, and then you decide, and I'll connect the dots, and you tell me if it's just a coincidence. Look up adrenochrome. Adrenochrome, ADRENOCHROME. It's an hallucinant drug suspected to have been used in Project MK Ultra. Does that sound familiar to any of you? Mind control for years and years out there. This drug is the basis of what they use for mind control. It's also hypothesized to play a role in the development of schizophrenia in adults, multiple personalities. Okay, now let me connect a dot. Did you know in 2008, Google, they rolled out Chrome, their browser, but then later, 2009, they purchased the GPU, which is the graphics processing unit, and they renamed it Adreno. So put that together. Their CPUs that they're using in their machines are the GPU, Adreno, and their browser is Chrome. Adreno Chrome. You think that's a coincidence? Mind control. Things that they recommend, things they send out to you, whatever. It's a form of mind control. Adrenochrome.
What if I told you I could offer you something that would enable you to walk again? I call it STEM, a computer chip that has the potential to change everything. It's a new, better brain. Oh my God.
I am STEM, the system operating your body for you.
Can anybody else hear you?
No, only you. May I point something out? In the drone surveillance footage, Sir Brantner, Marine Corps, address 414 Citrus, Newground. We'll need a plan.
I got this.
This doesn't seem like a well-thought-out plan. I need your permission to operate independently.
Permission granted!
Thank you.
Well, there you go. There is a trailer from 2018 of a movie called Upgrade. It's the same old thing repeated. A promise to live forever, but in the end, it's all about control. It's all around us, asking us to upgrade, move forward. It's keep your eyes open. I'm going to leave you with a couple of things. I'm going to leave you with the late Chuck Missler. He did a great seminar on artificial intelligence and transhumanism. I'm going to leave a little bit of that segment. Then, lastly, I'm going to close with a ahead of schedule release for Obsolete Man by Destiny Lab. I was honored to produce this video. They contacted me a couple of months ago if I could produce a couple of their videos for them. One was Shift Your Paradigm, which I've already released, and this one will be Obsolete Man ahead of schedule. I asked for permission to put this in this documentary type video that I made, and we'll leave you with that. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being patient with me to put this together. I had to get some permission to use some of this footage within the documentary, so it took me a little while to release it, but hope you enjoyed it. Love you guys. I'll be back soon.
Artificial intelligence area, the power of computers obviously are continuing to accelerate. Their size, their energy and costs are diminishing. And the facility of the hardware continues to accelerate. Both the hardware and the software are making gigantic leaps week by week as we go. And the singularity I tried to explain, that's a term that is associated with Ray Kurzweil. But that's when the computational intelligence exceeds that of the human mind. That's the target. Now you say, well, what's wrong with that? You have to understand what their admitted ultimate goal is. Because if you can take your intelligence and transfer it into that environment, you've achieved immortality. It's a path to immortality and to exchange consciousness between bodies, synthetic or otherwise. And the fact that this could at least conceivably lead to a path toward immortality can give you a glimpse of what kind of theology these people share, or lack thereof, if you will. Ray Kurzweil's concept of this consciousness not only will be able to be translated into a machine, you can combine consciousness. If you collectivize the consciousness, at the end of a documentary on his life, they asked him, "Do you believe there's a God?" And his answer is very simple. He says, "Not yet." That's really the goal that they think they're on. Now, see, the real problem is the real you. See, I can't see you. I'm standing up on stage, I can see the package you are in. You see, the real you, call it soul, spirit, conscience, whatever, you are temporary resident in a disposable hardware environment. Why shouldn't it be transferable to an alternate, perhaps advantageous environment, even a machine-enhanced environment? The day will be coming when they can create an environment that may be more hospitable than your own body, at least in their mind. So what would limit a continuing path to subsequent upgrades? I'm ready for an upgrade. I don't plan to look to them for that upgrade, by the way. Let me hasten to add that. So there's some coming nightmares coming. The real behind the scenes, something I haven't focused on, but I want to before we're through, is talk about super soldiers armed with ultimate weapons. There is an arms race going on. It's very hidden, but very real, between all the development countries. China, Russia, and the US, probably places in Europe, are going in this direction in the hopes of being able to field the super soldier. That could be a game changer in the pattern of nations. Networked super soldiers with unlimited mind controls, can you imagine? Unenforced lawlessness among a privileged few is part of the scenario here. Consciousness exchanges offering a form of immortality, collective consciousness ushering in a utopian collective, or the ultimate nightmare. That's what's on the horizon. This is not decades away. These are just a matter of years in the minds of the practitioners.
You've been under investigation, Mr. Wordsworth. You're found to be obsolete. The purpose of this hearing is to make a finding in the matter and make a sentence accordingly. Do you understand that?
I understand that.
Your occupation?
A librarian.
What? A librarian? Since there are no more books, Mr. Wordsworth, there are no more libraries. The field investigators in your sector have classified you as obsolete.
There soon may be a time when the robots come alive, and the unavoidable battle of flesh and metal will arrive. When the computers made to serve us suddenly become aware, through demonic-like possession that's been programmed and prepared to replace belief in God with a mechanical device that can change its shape and make a face just like the Antichrist. It's the evilest incarnation that promises transformation, the technological abomination that causes desolation. It's been prophesied to come alive. We've known it throughout time, from the book of Daniel to every sci-fi movie storyline. It's a collision course, and yes, of course, we've set our course to fail. It's an imminent conclusion in the making. Every detail has been analyzed and advertised and televised to see, to synthesize and mechanize mankind bionically as our rights and freedoms crumble and our liberties deplete. How long before they pull our plug and make us obsolete?
There is no God. The state has proven that there is no God.
You cannot erase God with an edict.
are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
Lie. No man is obsolete.
You have no function. You're an anachronism, like a ghost from another time.
I am nothing more than a reminder to you that you cannot destroy truth by burning pages.
You're a bug with a crawling insect. An ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
We may pretend we're in control, that we're still behind the wheel, but soon they'll take that too with the driverless automobile. And it will absolutely seem crazy to kids in future times that we actually could drive our cars and that it wasn't a crime. That once there was a day we weren't controlled by the machines. In the past when things were crafted by the hands of human beings, when patience was a virtue and quality was key, and the products we created were artistic and unique. In the age when books were digital and libraries were real, and the things we own were in the cloud but in our hands to feel. When photographs had solid mass and music was on vinyl, and people made the most of things before the word recycle. If something broke, you'd fix it, and there were parts you could replace, and the things you couldn't find or afford, then you would make. You were guaranteed a warranty without terms or conditions, and a monthly contract wasn't needed, and nor was a subscription.
I am a human being.
You're a librarian, Mr. Wordsworth.
I don't care. I tell you, I don't care. I'm a human being. I exist. And if I speak one thought aloud, that thought lives, even after I'm shoveled into my grave.
Illusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Illusions that you inject into your veins with printer's ink. The narcotics that you call literature. The Bible. You have nothing but spindly limbs and a dream. And the state has no use for your kind. You are obsolete, Mr. Wordsworth.
A lie. No man is obsolete.